She's so fine. Hell of a, blows my mind. Hell of a, lights my day.
What's good, guys? I wanted to cover this story on the channel. It's from the Palm Beach Post. And it says, he got life for killing his friend but never touched him. This could be his last chance. Christopher Dean never harmed Eric Flint, who was run over by an enraged burglary victim. But Dean may die in prison. That's a photo of Dean. This is from December the 11th, 2020. And it reads, Christopher Dean never laid a hand on his longtime friend Eric Flint. Yet he is serving a life sentence for the 25-year-old West Palm Beach man's 2005 death, while the man who killed him walks free. In one of the most convoluted murder cases in Palm Beach County's history, Dean's next and possible final hope to one day live outside prison walls will come Friday when he is sentenced for a fourth time. But even though Flint's mother and numerous judges, including Florida Supreme Court justices, said Dean should be shown mercy, it is likely the 40-year-old West Palm Beach man will die in prison. Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg, who holds the keys to Dean's prison cell, has refused to budge from his belief that Dean's punishment is just, according to a lawyer who is representing Flint's mother. That is Eric Flint's mother holding a picture of her son in her home in West Palm Beach. Even though Dean wasn't driving the car that plowed into Flint, a jury convicted him of second-degree murder for helping hatch a burglary that ended with his friend's death. While Ehrenberg declined to comment, he has said he will ask Circuit Judge Karen Miller to again hand Dean a life sentence, said attorney Rick King, who met with Ehrenberg on behalf of Flint's mother last week. Unless Ehrenberg backs down, Miller will have no choice. By law, prosecutors, not judges, can decide whether to charge someone as a reoffender. Once that decision is made, judges cannot overrule it. In Dean's case, because he was on probation after serving an 18-month sentence for fleeing from a police officer when Flint was killed, prosecutors charged him under the state's 1997 Prison Release Reoffender Act. That meant he had to be sentenced to life. At Dean's 2008 sentencing hearing, then Circuit Judge Jorge Labarga lamented his predicament. I will say that this case presented the strangest facts and circumstances I have witnessed in my 28 years as a lawyer, said Labarga, who was later elevated to the Florida Supreme Court. It's very unfortunate that he ended up in this tragedy, which I think is a tragedy for all sides, but I have no choice in this sentence. There is no doubt that the circumstances surrounding Flint's death were strange. Dean and Flint were burglarizing an apartment in the Villages when the owner, Gregory Marlowe, came home. Enraged, Marlowe jumped into his girlfriend's Suburban and followed Dean, who fled in his car, while Flint took off on foot. Reaching speeds of more than 100 miles per hour, Marlowe chased Dean on Interstate 95, terrorizing motorists who called police to report that he was driving like a complete maniac and just about ran over 5 people. Even though a dispatcher told Marlowe to stop, he continued chasing Dean, insisting, "Yeah, I'm chasing these bitches," according to recordings of the calls. When Dean saw Flint walking alongside Interstate 95, he stopped to pick him up. But as Flint was running towards Dean's car, Marlowe drove into him, killing him instantly. A Florida Highway Patrol trooper said Marlowe was responsible for Flint's death. Gregory Marlowe was criminally negligent, Trooper Annabelle Monroig wrote in a report. The fact that he was pursuing a subject that burglarized his residence does not relieve him from the duty to operate his vehicle with due regard for life. Marlowe's reckless actions caused the death of Eric Flint. Despite Monroe's findings, Marlowe was never charged. By the time Dean's case went to trial in 2008, it was too late, prosecutors said. By then, Marlowe claimed he thought Flint was reaching for a gun. Marlowe claimed he ducked down and didn't even know he had hit Flint. Witnesses remember the crash differently. Marlowe, a witness said, drove into the breakdown lane. That's where this guy was walking and he nailed him, the motorist told a dispatcher. I mean, he threw the guy 100 feet. But then traffic homicide prosecutor Ellen Roberts said, even though Marlowe never mentioned a gun when Monroe interviewed him, his claim of self-defense sunk the case. Florida law allows people to use deadly force to protect themselves. The prosecution of Mr. Marlowe would fail, Roberts concluded. Linda Tomlinson, who works as a corrections officer for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, has spent years trying to get justice for her son's death. While she said Dean deserved to be punished, a life sentence is too much. Let him go. Why not? He served 13 years, Tomlinson said in 2018. If I could just save one kid out of this whole situation, it would honor my son's death. The Florida Supreme Court and the 4th District Court of Appeals seem to agree that the punishment was too harsh. The state's highest court in 2014 refused to throw out Dean's conviction, but ordered that he be resentenced. The West Palm Beach-based appeals court has twice ordered that Dean's sentence be reviewed. In an unusual move, in 2013, the court suggested that prosecutors offer Dean a plea deal. Prosecutors refused. This year, the appeals court threw out Dean's sentence again, setting the stage for this week's hearing. King, who represents Tomlinson, said Ehrenberg's refusal to drop Dean's classification as a repeat offender is unfortunate. But the former police officer said it's understandable. Putting myself in Ehrenberg's shoes for a politician, and at the end of the day, Mr. Ehrenberg is an elected official. He has to think, what if I let this guy out and he does something else? In a recent letter to Ehrenberg, public defender Carrie Hawalt said Dean has proved he is a good risk. Prosecutors have agreed that Dean has turned his life around while in prison. When Miller resentenced him in 2018, she said Dean was sincerely remorseful. Calling it the most inequitable sentence she has witnessed in her long career as a lawyer, Hawalt pointed out that Dean has already served more time than if he had accepted the plea deal prosecutors offered before he decided to take the case to trial. I know you take seriously your responsibility to be a minister of justice and not simply an advocate for maximum sentences, she wrote, urging Ehrenberg to agree to a sentence that is less than life. Further, she said, Ehrenberg has consistently said the opinions of crime victims are important. Tomlinson, as Flint's mother, is on Dean's side. Her wishes sincerely deserve consideration, as a matter of right and as a matter of justice, Hawalt said. This is interesting. I'll be interested to see what happens Friday in this case, and I will be following it as well. It's a sad affair, I can assure you. Because if the attorney would just drop it down to him not being a reoffender, he would not be there. He's already served 13 years, and the victim's mother is even encouraging that they let him go. So I will follow the Christopher Dean case for those that are interested and give you an update. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it.